with a brand new video. No, I haven't been making videos for a while, but I'd like to discuss something that has been sort of on my mind. People know that Nekroz is considered one of the best decks in the format, but is it really considered one? Is it really one of the best decks in the format? Is it really the best deck? I mean, there's a lot of cards that stop this deck, and I think that's what makes this deck generally weak, is because of how fruitless this deck can be. Because there's a lot of cards in the meta that shut this deck down, and some of them are well known, some of them aren't too well known. But nonetheless, the deck is still relatively easy to stop. Generally speaking, when you play cards like Shared Ride or Maxi, they just stop playing that turn. They'll do one search or one special summon, and then they'll stop playing for that turn. Other cards that shut them out of key mechanics, such as like Spell Canceller, Anti-Spell Fragrance, Vanities, or Mistake, or even Thunder King Ryo, can stop them out of key mechanics. Just cripple the deck so much. And the fact that people are already side decking these cards anyway, because of other things in the format like Clipboards, and people are setting up Vanities and Maxi, Shared Ride, Stakes all together, it's because this is a search heavy format. And cards like this, cards that shut shut Nekroz out of key mechanics like this, because they rely on all of these. They rely heavily on special summon. They rely heavily on having cards in hand. And if you shut them down from that key aspect of the game, then they just don't play anymore and you win. You can have swift matches. You can have swift 2-0 matches against Nekroz. Yosenju's have no problem. My Yosenju deck currently has no problem with keeping up with Nekroz. It has zero problems. Sure, every once in a while they'll have that one that's really good, and that is just actually kind of out of the meta. That doesn't primarily focus on the rituals, which even though they do anyway, it's still still better than the generic Nekroz build has been seen to be. This deck automatically has counters with cards like Macrocosmos and Deep Dimensional Fissure, because you don't rely on the graveyard. Yes, they just do not rely on the graveyard in the slightest. And but Nekroz sort of do, because if their stuff is not going to be able to come back, what are they doing it for? They shouldn't be sending stuff away. Same thing with Shared Ride. Why would they constantly let you draw cards? Why would they do that? That just doesn't seem very intelligent. And even Mind Crush is becoming a big consideration towards them. Same thing with Dramaturg, because there are currently no level 2 Nekroz in the game. They can't. Well, they could just easily distribute them off, but that being said, it would still waste key necessities of getting us off the field. And it's just really dumb. It's really fascinating. Mass Destruction kind of cripples them, like Rikeki, Dark Hole, and Torrential Tribute. All do very well against Nekroz. Effectively does applicably in Nekroz, and Thunder King Ryo is obvious because it is good for obvious reasons. But the reason why that the deck could be as bad, it could be bad, worse than what people are saying, is because not very many people are really keen on straying too far away from the meta. People don't want to not play the best decks, and Nekroz has unfortunately shined to that degree. Because even though how superfluous this deck can be, how easily stopped this deck can have. Even Solemn Judgment or Solemn Warning, though not a good card in this format, still does a lot of work against Nekroz. I mean, honestly, you would think that a deck like this would be a hindrance, would be hindered by Nekroz, but no. I mean, it really doesn't matter if they banish one of your monsters and one card in your hand, and you're tanking something in your graveyard that happens to be there. It really that Trish doesn't matter. Bryonic doesn't matter. Unicorn doesn't matter. Colossus doesn't matter. Djinn doesn't matter against decks like Yosenju's. Against other decks like Burning Abyss and Shadows, they have a better matchup than they do Senjus, mostly because they special summon often, and if they get the Jin lock out, their opponent essentially can't play it unless they get rid of that Jin lock right then and there, which Book of Eclipse does effectively, Book of Moon can do effectively, other key cards can do effectively. They don't necessarily, and Shadows aren't really hurt by playing defensive for a minute. With recent installments of Shadows, they haven't really been forming to be more of an aggressive deck than it used to be. Same thing with Burning Abyss in a way, because they've also started leaning towards a more trap heavy deck anyway, and focusing primarily on getting out their double Dantes and getting out their other traps, and other things like that. Retweez, I don't know about this matchup. I'm relatively uneducated about this matchup, so it seems really good because they run a lot of mass removal, and they run a lot of other things that just make them untargetable. I mean, I think Mask Heroes might have a matchup against them if they can like get out their they're spamming cards. So they're spamming cards, and Mask Range is a really good effective way to get around Trishula, so that's always there. And even Volcanics, and Volcanics might seem like a bad matchup, but with three Mirror Force, 3 Magic Cylinder, 3 Phoenix Chain, and 3 Scatter Shot, the deck is not terrible against Nekroz. It's probably the second to worst matchup against Nekroz. I mean, that's being generous. So anyway, what do you guys think about Nekroz? Do you think they're a good deck? Because I honestly I'm starting to lean towards no, because it doesn't seem like they would be a good deck if they have so many counters. But that's neither here nor there. So yeah, tell me what you guys think about this, and if you enjoyed, please give me feedback. And that's all I want. Signing out.